everyone, it's Michelle. Welcome back to my channel. For today's look, we're going to be creating this halo smoky eye using some eyeshadow palettes that I've forgotten about. So if you want to learn how to recreate this look, then continue watching. So to begin with, we're using the Too Faced Hangover RX primer, and I'm going to go ahead and apply that all over my face. I finally got a full size of this product because I love it so much. Then I'm using the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion in the anti-aging formula, which is my favorite. And I'm just going to use the applicator it comes with and apply it on my eyes, and then using my fingers just to blend it in. Then I'm taking the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in the shade Dark Brown, and I'm going to take the Sephora Angled Liner brush, and I'm going to go ahead and outline the bottom of my eyebrows. And as you see here, I messed up a little bit, but I'll go ahead and show you how to fix that. So I'm taking a clean concealer brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and kind of wipe that off. You can put a little concealer on there if you want, but I didn't want it to be that harsh. And then I'm going to brush my eyebrows down, and that way I can really see the patchiness in the eyebrows and really focus on filling in those areas. So I'm just going to go ahead and outline the top of my eyebrow, and then I'll go ahead and start filling in that area. And then I'll brush my eyebrows back up and finish filling in the eyebrows. And this just helps so that way you can really see the areas that need filling in without looking too overdrawn. Then I'm going to go ahead and take my spoolie brush one more time and just blend it out. And then I'm using this Mega Clear Brow and Lash Mascara from Wet n Wild to set my eyebrows. And then to start off with eyeshadow, I'm going to go ahead and take the shade Creme Brulee from Wet n Wild, and I'm going to go ahead and highlight my brow bone. And then taking the NYX eyeshadow base, I forgot to do this step earlier. This is the white one. And I'm just going to go ahead and apply a little bit of that on my eyelid. And this is just going to help the bright colors that we're going to be using today to really pop. Then I'm using the BH Cosmetics 120 3rd edition eyeshadow palette. I'm using the bright colors. I'm going to start off with these orange shades right here, and I'm taking that on a Sigma E40, and I'm just going to go ahead and buff that in the crease. Then I'm taking these shades down here. It's a warm brown and a red, and I'm going to take my MAC 224 and just start kind of creating that halo eye. So I'm putting that on my inner and outer corner. And it's okay if it's a little bit messy because I want this look to be very diffused and blown out. Then I'm using this palette from Sigma. It's called the Dare palette. I think it's discontinued, but they're just warm shades. I'm going to take this warm orange color here called Catch. And I think they do have these as single eyeshadows if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, I'm going to take that on a MAC 224 again and just really focus that on my crease. And then I'm using my Viseart Dark Matte, and I'm using this berry color on a Sigma E25 brush, and I'm going to just focus those colors on the inner and outer corner to really deepen up the eyeshadow. And because I didn't think it was intense enough, I'm using the shade Surrender on that same E25 from Sigma, and I'm going to go ahead and put that on top on the inner and outer corner. Then I'm going back in with the brow bone color since I brought the red up a little too high in the crease to blend everything together. Then taking this dark red color here, and I'm going to take that on my 224 and just put that in the crease just to really make it nice and vibrant. Then taking the shade Grass, which is a pretty peachy color, and I wet that on this Smashbox brush, and I'm just going to apply that on the center of my eyelid. And as you see, I'm patting it on versus swiping it. Then taking my MAC 217 brush, blending out the corners, and I'm just going to continue repeating these steps. I decided to take a concealer brush just so that way I could really make that color pop. And I did switch between brushes here, but you can use that 217 again. And then just taking a Q-tip to clean up anything that went too low. Sometimes I get a little messy with my eyeshadow, so I like doing this. And then I'm going to take my Smashbox Look Less Tired Dark. And then I'm taking my Real Technique sponge, and I'm going to go ahead and blend that out. Then using my NYX HD concealer, and I'm just going to create a triangular shape underneath the eyes and also get around the nose to cover up any redness that I may have. And using my Real Technique sponge one more time, just dabbing it and blending it out. Then I'm going to go ahead and use my MAC Matchmaster foundation. I'm in the shade 5.0. And I'm just going to go ahead and start dotting that all over my face. Then I'm taking my Real Technique sponge again and just blending everything out. And take your time with this step. I did use a lot more foundation than I anticipated, but it's okay because the sponge usually tends to absorb a lot of product anyway, so that way I get the coverage I want. Then I'm setting that foundation in place with some loose powder. And then I'm going to start contouring with the Anastasia contour kit. And I'm going to first take the 3 light shades on the bottom, and I'm going to use this powder brush and just highlight underneath my eyes. And I'm also going to highlight the center of my nose and my forehead. Then using these dark contour shades on an e.l.f. brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and contour my cheekbones. And then also contour my forehead just to add some more. For blush, I'm using the Costa Sense Double Stack, and I'm going to go ahead and use this blush and just put that on the apples of my cheeks. Then I'm going to use my favorite glow kit from Anastasia. This is the Sweets, and I'm going to use the shade Taffy, and I'm just going to go ahead and highlight my cheekbones and right above my eyebrows. And then just adding a light contour to my nose. And I always make sure to go into my eyeshadow as well. That way it doesn't look like 2 lines in the middle of your nose. It blends in with the rest of your face. And then I'm just going to go ahead and add some depth to my lower lash line. Then using this eyeshadow from MAC, I'll list it down below because I can't remember what it's called right now. And I'm just using a fluffy brush to highlight my inner corner, and then I'll use the stiff brush just to make it pop. Then using the Ardell Dummy Wispies, and I'm going to go ahead and use some Revlon lash glue and some tweezers and really get close to the lash line since I'm not using eyeliner on top. And then I'm just going to go ahead and apply some mascara to my lower lash line. Then using Chestnut Lip Liner from MAC, and I'm just going to go ahead and line my lips with this. I love these dark lip liner shades because it helps balance out nude lipstick, especially on tan skin like myself. Then using Nude Nuance from Maybelline Matte Line, and I'm just going to go ahead and apply that all over my lips. Then using Chromatic Addiction Metallic Liquid Lipstick from Milani, and I'm just going to take some of that and apply it in the center of my lips. And I'm going to go ahead and blend that out with my fingers. this here is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed, and as always, if you have any requests, please don't hesitate to leave a comment down below. And until next time.